we are going to dive into a hip releasing as well as hip stabilizing flow. I created this flow for a client who has had hip surgery and has really been dealing with some mobility issues, stiffness, pain, arthritic conditions. I myself had hip surgery 13 years ago, so this is really something that touches close to my heart, and I wanted to share that moving is so critical when you have deep injury. You move it. If you don't move it, you lose it. It's important to keep the energy, the prana, the breath, and the mobility going, especially in the weakest points of our body. What you're going to need today for the practice, if you have a point release kit, I really highly recommend you get one. If you don't have one, you can grab one on my website. They are made by Radball. What I love about them is it's a one-stop shop for all of your myofascial release. You have this beautiful 2-in-1 that we use for the spine as well as parts of the legs. We have a large size ball, we have a medium sized ball, and we have a tiny little ball that gets in between the little tiny bones, especially in our feet. And that is where and we also have a block too. You can kind of set the little things at the end. So we are going to dive right into starting with the feet. The reason why it's important to do some myofascial release in the feet is that the tension from our hips or our knees, if you have knee injury, travels down the fascia, the scar tissue. The energy is blocked down to the meridians of your feet. So we're going to start by breaking this up. I want you to take your large ball first. Go ahead. And you're going to place that right at the heel, right underneath the bone, right where the arch begins, and just step and press. Take a deep breath in and press a little more. One more breath. Good. Move to the center of your foot now. And just step and press. Breathing in and out through your nose. I want you to really start now cultivating some Ujjayi breath in through your nose, out through your nose. Good. And then we'll just kind of step right in between the bones of our feet. Give a little pressure there. Good. Now back and forth. We're going to go up and down right along the plantar fascial tendon on the inside, the outside. And then I want you to make some little scribbles round and around, just massaging in between your toes, the inseam of your foot and the outseam of your foot, around through your heel and your arch. Good. And we'll go to the other side. Step and press right at the base of the arch where it meets the heel. Woo. Sometimes you'll get so tight and stiff up here that just translates down to your feet. So breathe in, feel a little pressure, feel a little release. And we don't want to really be pressing so hard that we're stepping into pain. We're going to move now to the middle of the arch. Just step, press. Breathe in to where you're feeling uncomfortable, to where you're feeling some resistance. And then one more time, we're going to move between kind of right underneath the major knuckles of your toe bones. Good. And then up and down the center. Ooh, and if you find some really knotty little places, get in there, breathe into it. Okay, discomfort's okay, but never pain, right? Never want to feel pain. One of my sweet yoga teachers I know, he's such a brilliant, bright man, Bob, says, no pain, no pain. Down the inseam and down the left seam of your foot. And then little scribbles. You may notice you're moving around as I am a little bit. It's all good. Okay, whew. You're going to notice that your balance is improved after you do this. Your stability is going to be better. When we have injuries and we're tight on one side of our body versus other, we all are, by the way, but when we're injured, it's worse. We tend to really suffer. Our balance suffers. Now we're going to move down. We're going to downgrade to this medium-sized little ball because we're ready. We've broken down the major part. Now we're going to get in. We're going to do the same thing. I want you to press it right there at the base of the arch. Take a deep breath in. You decide how much pressure, right? Only you can make those decisions. Okay, then I want you to take a few breaths there. Move to the center of the foot. Just stand on it, press into it, breathe into it. You got it. And then right into the knuckle bones of the feet. Press down. Give me a deep breath in and out. Up and down. Up and down the arch. Ooh. Start to feel this one a little bit more, right? The ball is a little bit harder. It's a little smaller, so it's being a little more targeted. Okay, then scribble up and down the inside, up and down the outside. Getting ahead of myself. And then scribble round and round. Okay, woo. Get in between the bones, right? In between your pinky toes, in between each one of them, all around through the heel and the arch, and then switch sides. Press right into the arch of the foot. Ooh, this one's really tight. So interesting note, in fact, to realize is to take a few breaths here. I had surgery on my left hip, but now, even all of these years later, as hard as I worked on it, there's always going to be an imbalance, right? So I will get very, very tight, move into the middle of your foot now, on my right hip. You know, and it's a way of compensation that the right side of your body is kind of taking over, hijacking some of the work of the other side of the body, the weaker side of the body. Okay, now go ahead and move right between the knuckle bones of your foot. Take a few deep breaths there. Whew. And you don't have to have surgery to do this, to go ahead and jump into this flow, up and down, right? Maybe your hips are just tight. Maybe like me, you're just getting older and you're starting to feel it in your hips, maybe even sitting. Let's move to the inside of your foot. And then the outside of the foot. This foot is much more sensitive than the other. Do you notice that? You know, start to just notice. Good, we're scribble round and round. That's it. Nice, okay. Now, to the tiniest little ball. If you don't have a point release kit, do the same thing. Go ahead and press at the arch. You can use a tennis ball. You can use a lacrosse ball. You can use any other ball. The reason why I love the myofascial release balls is that they're sort of just right. They are the Goldilocks of the, good, go ahead and move to the upper part. They are the Goldilocks of the myofascial release. They're sort of just the right amount of softness and hardness. They're just that right perfect one in between. Tennis balls can be a little bit up and down you go, a little bit too soft, up and down the arch. And lacrosse balls, things like that, can sometimes be a little bit too hard. It can be a little too much pressure. So knowing that we're using the smaller ball, you may want to lighten up your pressure. Okay. Now, scribble round and round. I want you to get in between the tiny bones of your feet now, in between your toes with each one. So you may know that we have more bones in our feet than we do anywhere else in our body. By the way, if you do hear a little, I do have a little friend here. She's off camera. I am taking care of a little PTSD dog for a veteran friend of mine. And Shakti is her name. How perfect is that? Is in the room with us. If she hops in the screen, you'll see that. Good. We'll go to the other side. So step right in the arch of your foot, press down. Just a little pressure. See how much you can take. Ooh, not so much on this one for me. Breathe. Always breathe. Always breathe. Move to the middle of your foot. Here she comes. Hello, Shakti. Good. Step down, press. I don't know if you find this, but my animals love to be around me whenever I'm doing yoga. Okay, right into the center of the foot. Press down. Good. Shakti, can you lie down? Good girl. Now up and down we go. Maybe she's just jealous, wants to have some camera time as well, you think? Okay, then we'll scribble round and round in between the toes, in between the bones of your feet. Ooh. Each one. Down through the heel, the inner and outer arches. Okay, we're done. I'm going to put everything back in its little caddy here, and we'll set this to the side. take a moment just to stand wherever you are. I'm going to have to share my screen with Shakti here. Find your grounding through your feet. Get your feet underneath your hips. I just want you to feel the bones of your feet ground down into the earth. Stability is a really important thing. I want you to close your eyes and just notice, are you favoring one leg more than the other? Are you letting one leg take more of the weight and the burden of your movement and your stability than the other? So try to really four-wheel drive your feet. Spread the energy equally distribute it. Feel your bones press down. Take the grounding energy of your feet and draw it up your leg bones to your pelvic floor. To your belly, draw it in and up. I want you to imagine you're zipping up a pair of skinny jeans from the inside out. Your ribs are going to come in. Your shoulders will open as you do that. Draw your ears back. Lift your sternum and your heart a little higher. We're going to move into a half salutation. You're going to sweep your arms out and up. Leave your shoulders rooted right where they are. Stretch up. Breathe in, belly in, ribs in. Hands to your heart. Just a few breaths to warm up. Ground down, sweep out and up. Breathe in. Try not to let the shoulders rise. Leave them rooted. Just stretch through your fingertips and your arm bones. Exhale, hands to your heart. One more time. From your feet, root down. Sweep up. Draw the energy in and up through your fingers. Hands to your heart. On to the half salutation. I'm going to turn sideways so you have a little bit better view of me. Ground down, sweep out, sweep up. Give me a breath in. Keep your spine straight, hands at your heart. So we're not putting too much load on our spine. We're going to keep a long, strong spine. Bend your knees. Booty goes back. Keep lengthening through the crown of your head. Let your ribs rest on your thigh bones. Drop your head. Exhale. Fingers to your shins. Come to a halfway lift. Lengthen through your spine. Shoulders back. Zip up through your belly. Exhale, fold. Slowly roll up. Your head should be the last thing. Ground through your feet equally. Notice how you're pressuring and standing through both feet. Sweep your arms out and up. Give me a breath. Hands come to your heart. Okay, let's get breath and body flowing together now. Ready? Sweep down and up. Inhale. Dive forward. Exhale. Take a halfway lift to zip up through your spine. Exhale, fold. Roll up slow and steady, one vertebra at a time. Out and up, in breath. Hands to your heart. One more time. Stand tall, root down, reach out and up. Inhale. Hands come through your heart, hinge at your hips, soft bend in your knees, fold over your legs, let it go. Halfway lift. Zip it up, belly strong, shoulders back, fold in. Good, now roll up slow and steady, one last time. Sweep out, sweep up, breathe in. Hands to your heart. Okay, grab 2 blocks. We're going to move on. Take your 2 blocks right on the outsides of your feet. Good. Root through your feet, sweep down and up. Give me an in-breath. Hinge forward, fold in. Good. Halfway lift, hands on your blocks. We're going to step our left toes back. So really push into your hands to get the weight off your leg. Shimmy your toes back. Drop your knee down to the mat. Feel free to pad your knee, right, with a blanket or a bolster if you need to. Walk your blocks back so you can really stand tall. I want you to make sure that your knee is stacked over your ankle bone or even a little bit behind it. You want to get your left knee down. Okay, left hip over, shoulders over. You'll feel this big opening through the left quadricep and even your TFL and your hip flexors. So give me a breath in, really push into your right foot. Exhale, sink deep. Inhale, push off. Exhale, sink deep. One more time, push off, give me an in-breath. Exhale, we're gonna push about 50% of the way in. So I want you to feel some stability, some engagement in through your right foot. Take your left arm to the sky, just breathe and open up through the whole left side of your body. So when we have issues in our hips, we often get tight in all of our attachments and our QL, which really attaches our pelvis to our spine. So breathe in there. Maybe twist and lift your gaze. Breathe deeply into your low ribs, your hip flexors, which really attach in through the belly. One more breath, and then take your left hand down, your right arm up and over, same thing. Spin your ribs to the right a bit. Lift your gaze up. Give me a few breaths. Good. One more inhale. Hands come to the block. Shift your hips back. We're going to flex our right toes. Keep a soft bend in this knee. It doesn't need to be straight. I want you to peel your femur bone, your sit bone back. Lengthen your heart forward. Exhale, just fold. Inhale, lengthen, open up through your chest. Set your gaze. Exhale, fold. Once more, lengthen, open, stay here. Drop your toes to the right. Ooh, feel that in your attachments, in the outer rotators of your hips. Breathe in there. Exhale there. Let's bring your toes through center and drop them inward towards the midline of your body. Stay here for a breath in and a breath out. We'll go back and forth. Inhale the toes to the right. Exhale. Inhale your toes through center. Go to the left. Drop in. Good. Now lengthen up. Let's shift the weight into our right foot. Bring your blocks with you. We're going to curl your left toes underfoot, your knee up off the ground. And then walk your blocks to the left. We're going to take a quarter turn. Get your toes in. Lengthen out through your spine. Hinge and fold. Inhale, lengthen. So engage your pelvic floor. Really zip up through your skinny jeans. Open up through your hamstrings. Exhale, fold. One more time. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Now you can stay here. Your hands may not touch the ground. You may need the blocks to support you wherever you need to be. Just stay and take a few breaths. Keep a soft bend in the knees. An engagement in through your pelvic floor up to your belly button. Inhale into your hamstrings. Exhale here. One more time. Breathe in. Breathe out. Climb onto your hands. Climb onto your blocks. Good. Let's take another quarter turn to the left. Bring your blocks with you. Spin your left toes to 12 o'clock. Spin up onto the ball of your right foot. We're going to slowly drop down. Walk your blocks back. Stack your spine. Stack your joints. Breathe into your right hamstring, your right TFL, hip flexor. Lengthen up. Exhale, sink deep. Inhale, push off. Exhale, sink deep. Two more like that. Push off, breathe in. Exhale, sink deep. One more time. Push off, breathe. Exhale. We're going to go about halfway in, so give me a breath. Good. Take your left arm up and over this time. Really open up. Lift your gaze up and over to the left. Breathe in. One more inhale. Go to the other side. Take your right arm up and over. Oh, breathe down your whole side body. Okay, so I know that there's spaces and places in your body that you're feeling tightness or resistance. Or maybe you just haven't felt or awakened that part of your body in a while. I just want you to breathe with it, be with it. Okay, let it be sensational wherever you are. Tap into the sensation wherever you are. Give me another in-breath. Drop your leg down. Shift your hips back. Good, flex your left toes. So lengthen out through your spine. Breathe in. Exhale, fold. Keep a soft bend in your left knee. Inhale, lengthen here, heart up, long spine, belly in. Exhale, fold. One more time, lengthen, strengthen. Hold it here. Drop your toes to the left. Give me an in-breath. Give me an out breath. Bring your toes through 12 o'clock. Drop them in towards the midline of your body. Exhale. Give me a big in breath. And a big out breath. One more time. Toes flow through. Drop them to the left. Inhale through center. Drop your toes to the right. Come in through center. Shift your weight into your left foot. Bring your blocks with you. Curl your right toes under and then hover your right knee up off the ground. Right? Push into your hands. Let's take a walk to the right, quarter turn. Toes come in. Get a little pigeon-toed. Long, strong spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Our blocks just help make our limbs a little bit longer. So you decide how tall or how short they need to be. Lengthen out. We're going to walk our hands to our left ankle bone. You can bring your blocks with you. Just exhale, fold here. Really focus your breath on the belly of your left hamstring. Maybe you're feeling this in your inner thighs. Okay, we don't want to be going to the edge. We want to be going to where we feel sensation and then just breathing there. Good. Walk your hands to the other side, over to the right. If you can, grab onto your right ankle bone. You may. Give me a few breaths. One more in breath. One more out breath. Climb onto your blocks, lengthen out through your spine. We'll keep walking to the right. Come onto the ball of your left foot. Now we're going to press strongly into our hands to step your right leg back, drop down onto your knees. Bring your blocks out in front of you. Let's come into a nice stable table. So you're going to get your wrists underneath your shoulders. We often make the mistake of getting our hands way too out in front of us. Stacking our joints, always push into your fingertips. Get your knees underneath your hips, draw your shoulders back, ribs in. There's your stable table. From here, drop your belly, open up through your throat. Exhale, push into the mat. I want you to broaden through your scapula, through the wings of your back and round, tucking your tail, tucking your chin. Drop your belly, open up. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, round into cow. We'll do one more. Drop your belly, lengthen out. Look up. Exhale, round, hollow through your spine. Come to neutral spine, back to our stable table, pressing into your fingertips. So get the weight out of the heels of your hands. Zip up through your belly. We're going to do a little core work, which is critical to our healing process. Extend your left toes back and just float your left heel off the ground. We're going to come into what I call bird dog. Toes down, square your hips. Now zip up your belly. We don't want to drop into our low back here. Zip it up. Maybe this is enough for you. Maybe this is all you can do. But if you want an added challenge, you can extend your right arm forward, your toes up. You might need to work up to this. Otherwise, keep your right hand down. Now take a breath, lengthen out through your heel. Exhale, elbow to knee, or just knee to nose. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round. One more time, lengthen, strengthen. And lower your arm down, your knee down. We're going to drop into child's pose. So separate your knees a bit. Drop your forehead down to the mat. Give me a few cycles of breath. If you don't have the range of motion because of the stiffness or tightness in your hips, feel free to take a blanket or a bolster. Okay, fold it up as much as you need to, right at the crease of your knees. And as you sit back, you can still get the child's pose benefit without really feeling any grinding in your hips. Another option is you can fold up and place this also right at the hip crease if that's where you're feeling resistance. So make sure you're using your props in a way that supports your body to feel no pain. No pain, no pain. Good. Climb up onto your hands and knees. Good. We're going to go to the other side. So slide your right toes back. Lift your heel up off the ground. Square your hips down. Belly in. Left arm up if you feel like you can take that challenge. Breathe in, elbow to knee, exhale. Inhale, lengthen. Elbow to knee round. Inhale, lengthen. Elbow to knee round. One last time, hold it, breathe in. Lower everything down to the mat, back to child's pose. Use your blanket where you need to. Drop in, or your bolster or your pillow or whatever you've got. Give me a big in-breath into your tailbone. Feel your heart, your shoulders, your chest soften. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Round up through cat pose. And bring your right knee to meet your left. We're going to drop onto our right hip. Slide all the way down onto our right side. Okay, then just let your ear rest here. Stack your knees. Critical thing for building some stability and strength back is to do a little bit of exercises with our glute med and our glute min, our little outer rotators of our hips. So tense your left fingers. Inhale, open the knees. Exhale, close the knees. Inhale, open the knees. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. You want to feel a little bit of a lift and space underneath your right ribs here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. I really discourage you to use any extra resistance here until you build your strength back. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Press into your left hand and your right hand. Just give me a little stretch up and over here in mermaid pose. Once again, just awakening the whole right seam of your body. And lower it down. As gracefully as you can, just swing your legs to the other side. Slide on down. Let your head rest. You can always take a little pillow or a block underneath here if you feel like you need a little more. Bend your knees. Feet come together, really stacking your bones. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Keep your belly zipped to make sure you've got your little space there. Now, I am only going to take you guys through each side once. But here's the thing. If you do have an injury or you are post-surgical with one side, I want you to do that side only one more time. So I had surgery on my left hip. I would do my left hip, my right hip, then my left hip again. So one thing about imbalance is that we can't be too OCD about our practice, right? We need to make sure that we work the weak side a little more than the strong side. One more time. Inhale, open. Exhale, lower down. Climb onto your hands. Use your right hand and your left. Separate your knees. Let's get a big, beautiful side body mermaid stretch. Inhale. Nice job. Swing your legs around. And we are going to lower down onto our backs. So often if you've had hip surgery or you're dealing with a hip injury, seated postures are really difficult, so we're not going to be doing any of those today. Tuck your wings underneath you. Plant your feet. Let your hands drop down by your sides. So your ankles want to be underneath your knees or slightly in front. You want your feet hip width apart. Once again, pay attention to how much weight you have on either foot. Notice the natural curve of your spine. I want you to press your belly down, make any space between your low back and the mat disappear. Press into your feet, lift your hips. We're going to roll all the way up into a bridge. Press equally into both feet. Really watch your hip bones. Notice if you have any favoring of one hiking versus the other. See if you can even that out. Give me a big in-breath into your belly. And then roll down one vertebra at a time. Mid-back, low ribs, low back, pelvis, sacrum, all the way to your tailbone. Make the space reappear. Exhale, press it down, roll it up. Good. Once you get here, give yourself a little hip check. Give yourself a big breath in. Draw your heels towards you ever so slightly. Exhale, slowly roll down. All the way to the tip of your tail. Give me a breath. Exhale, press your low back into the mat. Lift your hips, rise up. When you get to the top, stay here. Breathe in. Slowly lower down, one vertebra at a time. We're going to do this one more time. Roll to the tip of your tail. Exhale, press down, roll up, rise up. Stay here. Give me a big in-breath. And slowly roll down. I want you to toe heel your feet wide, like towards the outer edges of your mat, or just much wider than your knees if you're on the floor like me. Take your arms out to a T. Give me a breath. Drop both knees to the right. So just stay here. Breathe down the whole left seam of your body. Exhale, see if you can give into gravity a little bit. We're going to stay here for a couple cycles of breath. And then we're going to stay here for shorter and shorter amounts of time to get the flow going. One more inhale. One more exhale. Lift your knees up and over. Go to the left. Drop your knees in and down. Give me a big in-breath. And a big out-breath. A few more cycles of breath here. You can always slide a block underneath either knee or both knees to give yourself a little stopgap or support. Inhale your knees through center. Exhale, drop to the right. We'll stay here for 2 cycles of breath this time. Inhale, create some space. As you exhale, allow your body to take up that space. One more breath in. And out, go up and over to the other side. Exhale, 2 cycles of breath here. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale. Exhale. Bring your knees up and over to the right. We'll just stay for 1 cycle of breath now. Exhale, drop in. Inhale. Exhale. Up and over to the left. Exhale, let your knees drop. Stay here for 1 cycle of breath all the way in. All the way out. Now we'll move with breath. Inhale the knees up and over. Drop it to the right. Inhale up and over. Drop it to the left. Come back through center. Keep your feet wide. Just allow the knees to drop in towards each other. See if you can really let go of any tension that might be happening in through your quads or your TFL or the IT bands. One more breath. Toe heel your feet back together. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh bone. And let your knee fall open. So for some of you, this may be enough right here. The next level, you can slide a block underneath your foot. Right? And maybe this is enough for you, letting your knee fall out. If you can, lift and bring the knee into your chest, do that. Or maybe you need a strap or like a t-shirt or towel or something to find that little space right in between. Flex your right foot to really protect your knee joint. Take a few cycles of breath here. Breathing into any resistance that you feel. And I'm going to invite you to very slowly, very inquisitively, slide your hips slowly to the right, looking for any tight spaces and places. If you find them, I want you to just stay there and breathe. A few cycles of breath. If you still haven't found one yet, you can slide your hips slowly towards the left, looking for any tight spaces and places. Right? Breath is the language of our body. So that's what our body speaks. When we breathe in, we wait and listen for our body's response. Stay and have a conversation. Gently come back to center. Give me a breath. And lower down. We'll switch sides. Plant your left ankle bone over your right knee. Let the knee fall out. So take a few breaths. You decide where is enough. If you've just had surgery, maybe this needs to be pretty far away from your body. That's okay too, right? You decide how much is enough, the block or all the way into your chest. You really want to flex your left foot. Breathe deeply into resistance. And we really want to dial in to make sure that what are we feeling right now? Are you feeling tension? Are you feeling pain? Are you feeling tightness? Let your body know you're listening. Once again, you can start to be inquisitive, sliding your knees towards the left. Well, maybe you find something there, maybe you don't. Maybe you decide you need to slide your knees to the right. Oh, when you find something, like me, like it's right there. A little glue, a little stuckness. I'm going to stay here. I'm going to breathe. I'm going to make space. Breathe in, breathe out. Stay here for a few more cycles of breath. Just breathing and being with what is. Our hips can be the emotional basement of our body. We often stuff things there we'd like to deal with later. So if any emotions do come up, it's all good. Just breathe and be with it. Come back to center, lower your right foot, uncross your legs. We'll take a full body stretch together. Arms go overhead, wiggle through your fingers and toes. Okay, I'm going to walk my foot towards the left edge of my body and cross my right ankle bone over. I'm going to catch hold of my wrist and just give myself a big banana asana side body stretch here. Taking a few cycles of breath down the whole right seam of my body. Every time you exhale, see if you can drop in, let go, and arrive a little more. Each in-breath is about creating awareness, space, grace. And let's move in the other direction. So move your right leg over towards the right edge of your mat. Left leg crosses up and over. Touch your left wrist. Take a big side body stretch. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale. Exhale. One more breath. And come back to center. One last full body stretch. And gently draw your right knee into your chest. Give yourself a squeeze. Take your knee up and over for a supine twist. You can bring your leg onto a pillow, a block that doesn't want to reach all the way over. Give yourself as much support as you need. And I just want you to breathe down the whole right seam of your body. Take your right arm out like a wing. Gaze over your right fingers. As you breathe in, create a little space and some length. And as you exhale, just melt into gravity. Allow the earth to just suck you in. One last cycle of breath. Make sure you exhale all the way out. Bring your knee back to center and squeeze. Shift sides, draw your left knee into your chest to squeeze it. Take it up and over your body for supine twist. And you can slide the block underneath your knee or a pillow or anything as a little stopgap here. Take your left arm out like a wing. Gaze over your left fingers and just breathe your body. Being injured puts us in a perpetual chronic state of stress. So a mindfulness practice, a breath practice, it's really critical to taking us out of that constant sympathetic fight or flight response. And to bring us back into a parasympathetic rest and digest state where we can heal, repair. Breathe in. Breathe out. Give me one last cycle. Exhale fully, completely, really rest into the earth beneath you. Unwind, hug your left knee in, give yourself a squeeze. Hug your right knee in, give yourself a squeeze. Little Apanasana here. Inhale, take your knees away from you, feeling almost like you're in cow pose, upside down. Exhale, draw your knees in for cat pose. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. One more time. Inhale. Draw your knees in, squeeze. Give yourself a little hug. And we'll melt into Shavasana, your full resting pose. I invite you to stay here, rest here, be here for 3 to 5 minutes. Because in stillness, in space, that's where we heal. That's where the magic occurs. Please stay where you are for as long as you would like to be. Thank you for joining me for this flow, and I hope to see you on the mat again for another stable healing practice. Namaste.